Good morning. Let's begin my second lecture on uh, worship of Shaktism, that is, origin and development of Shakta worship. Basically, in last lecture, we have discussed the various sources for Shakta worship, and we have tried to trace the origin of Shakta worship right from Vedas. And in the end of last lecture, I have told you that there are two streams of this knowledge, that is Agama and Nigama, and Nigama is Vedas. So all those Vedic and Puranic sources we have discussed in last lecture. Today we will focus on Agamas and particularly the philosophy of Shakta worship. So what is Agama? Agama is a literature which are meant for all these cultic worships. So we have Vaishnava Agamas, we have Shaiva Agamas, as well as we have Shakta Agamas. So in Shaktagamas, they glorify Shakti as the world mother. So the supreme deity is Shakti. When there are Vaishnava Agamas, the supreme deity is Lord Vishnu. And in Shaivism, the supreme deity is Shiva. So here, Shakti is the primordial mother, world mother. We have 27 Agamas, and the texts are usually in the form of dialogues between Shiva and Parvati. So generally, we know that Shiva and Parvati is the primordial couple, the ideal couple, original couple, divine couple, and they always discuss about the creation and maintenance on the destruction of this universe and various stories of their devotees. In Shaiva Agamas and Shaiva Puranas, we have this kind of dialogues that Parvati asks questions to Shiva and Shiva answers. So even in Shakta Agamas, we have these dialogues between Shiva and Parvati. Among all these 27 agamas, there are few which are very, very important agamas, which are very, very important texts. They are Mahanirvana, Kularnava, Kulashara, Prapanchasara, Tantra Raja, Rudra Yamala, Brahma Yamala, Vishnu Yamala. Basically, Yamala means couple or the duet. So, in Rudra Yamala, that is Rudra and Rudradi, or Shiva and Parvati, and this is a tantric worship. So, we have emphasize on couple, or we can say that maithuna, or the intercourse between male and female, and it is the actual the union of Shiva principle, Shiva Tattva and Shakti Tattva. So we will do in detail about that philosophy. So we have Brahma Rudra Yamala, we have Brahma Yamala, and we have Vishnu Yamala. And apart from this dual or couple and all those things, these three have their basic three philosophical concepts, and that's why they have discussed in this Yamala Tantra. We will discuss later. So all these tantras or all these agamas teach several occult practices, some of which confer powers, that is Ashtasiddhi, while the others bestow knowledge and freedom. So this is a way of getting salvation, that is a freedom, moksha. So here we have Jnana Marga as well as Karma Marga. Through the way of knowledge, we do get the moksha, as well as through the practices, we do get the moksha. So these are also Tantra. Tantra means what? Tantra is a technique. The definition of Tantra is Tanayate Vistarayate Janma Nanam Anena iti Tantram. So the divine knowledge which is conferred upon the devotee or the seeker, rather, not devotee as a seeker, through one technique, and that technique is called Tantra. And what is that technique? To get the knowledge in bindu form or in a what we can say sutra form, in very concise and short way. But when you expound on that mantra, for example, bija mantra, then that knowledge is expanded, vistarayate, and tanyate. It means it is stretched. So right from one alphabet, one
मॅम मध्ये
bindu.
हिंदी हिंदी यूज केलं तरी बरं होईल, म्हणजे आणखी लोकांना कळेल.
Okay,
थोडं थोडं.
okay. Uh,
थँक्यू.
uh, uh, उससे जो एक बिंदु मात्र ज्ञान होता है या जो एक बीजा मंत्र होता है, उसके ऊपर अगर हम ध्यान दें, उसके अगर हम फोकस करें और उस बीजा मंत्र का अर्थ समझने की कोशिश करें, तो उस बीजा मंत्र से हम उसका जो मूलभूत ज्ञान है वो पा सकता है. यही तंत्र की व्याख्या है. इसका मतलब है जो ज्ञान है वो एक बिंदु मात्र से, एक बीजा मात्र से स्ट्रेच किया जाता है, ताना जा सकता है, विस्तार किया जा सकता है और उससे आपको अगाध ज्ञान की प्राप्ति होती है. So it is defined as the शास्त्र by which knowledge is spread. So तंत्र एक साधन है, तंत्र साध्य नहीं है. तंत्र ज्ञान की विस्तार का, ज्ञान की अनुभूति का साधन है. So here are few pictures. ये अलग अलग देवियों की चित्र है. ये सब देवता संघ है या शाक्तागम में जो देवियां होती है, उसमें सबसे बड़ी या सबसे ग्रेट, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण देवी है त्रिपुरा सुंदरी. So we have to understand the concept of Tripura Sundari. Basically, the word Tripura Sundari itself devotes that she is the Sundari, she is the queen, she is the very beautiful lady or the ultimate lady who rules all these Tripura, three worlds. And these are generally the three worlds, three loka, earth, heaven and netherworld, जिसे हम पृथ्वी, स्वर्ग और पाताल लोक कहते हैं. या ये जो त्रिपुर है, त्रिलोक है, उसकी जो सुंदरी है वो उसकी हाईएस्ट पोजीशन होती है. दैट इज द हाईएस्ट डीटी. त्रिपुरा सुंदरी इज द हाईएस्ट डीटी, हाईएस्ट पोजीशन. इन आनंद भैरव और महाभैरव, these are again Bhairava tantras where Shiva is soul. सोल यानी आत्मन, जीव. और उसमें एक 9 चीजों की व्याप्ति या 9 चीजों का ज्ञान दिया गया है. वो ऐसा है. फर्स्ट इज फॉर्म, कुल व्यूह और कला व्यूह. कला is kal actually in Marathi. So there are forms, so roop. Existing things like the blue substance. Blue substance is a nilarnava, that is called kula vyuha. From form, from the individual soul or the mortal soul. Next is the blue ocean, or we can say Odyssey, that is blue substance kula vyuha. Then नेम, दैट इज नाम व्यूह. रूप है, इसके लिए नाम है. जो भी कोई चीज है उसका नामकरण होना बहुत जरूरी है, अदरवाइज उसका आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं होता. देन परसेप्शन, ज्ञान व्यूह. एक फॉर्म है, एक आकार है, उसका एक नाम है, लेकिन उसे ये कहते हैं, उसका ज्ञान होना भी जरूरी है. यह मैंने बहुत ही निम्न स्तर का उदाहरण दिया है. बट इन दिस material spiritual knowledge, the perception is very important, that is jnana vyuha. That knowledge can be perceived by 5 faculties. हमें पंच ज्ञानेंद्रिय होती है हमारे पास. वो क्या है, उसके अलग अलग नाम अलग अलग टेक्स्ट में पाए जाते हैं. शाक्ता आगम में ये जो पंच ज्ञानेंद्रिय है वो है कॉन्शियसनेस. कॉन्शियसनेस यानी अपनी चेतना, हार्ट हृदय, विल यानी इच्छा, इंटेलिजेंस बुद्धि और माइंड यानी मनस, ये सबको मिलकर चित्त व्यूह कहा जाता है. So चित्त व्यूह is the 5 faculties which are containing consciousness, heart, will, intelligence and mind. All these 5 psychological faculties are very important to perceive the knowledge. And when the knowledge is perceived through these 5 faculties, then we get the anubhuti, the experience. Then if we are at the highest level, then we are one with the ultimate soul or ultimate reality. We will go in detail about that. So this was about the psychological facets of Shakta Agama. About the metaphysics. Metaphysics discusses about the reality. So जिसे हम आदि भौतिक कहते हैं, वो सत्य क्या है जीवन का या इस विश्व का अंतिम सत्य क्या है, उसकी खोज करता है. और ये जो मेटाफिजिक्स है वो शांभव दर्शन में पाया जाता है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, जो मूलभूत तत्व है या अंतिम सत्य है, वो ड्यूअल सत्य है, वो द्वंद्वात्मक सत्य है, वो है शिव और शक्ति. It is not Advaita at this level. Though we do get Advaita philosophy in Shaktism, but Shiva and Shakti, these two are primordial substances. शिवा और शक्ति ये आदिम मूलभूत सत्य है. शिव प्रकाश है, लाइट, और शक्ति उसका विमर्श है और स्फूर्ति है, यानी फीलिंग और अपीयरेंस. अगर हम कहा, एक बहुत ही सरल उदाहरण देना चाहती हूँ. हम मोमबत्ती जलाते हैं, मोमबत्ती की वो जो ज्योत होती है उससे वो प्रकाश मिलता है. क्या हम ज्योत और प्रकाश अलग अलग कर सकते हैं? ज्योत किसे कहते हैं? मोमबत्ती की जो बाती होती है वो जब जलाई जाती है तो उसे ज्योत कहते हैं. वो जो रूप है वो फ्लेम का, वो ज्योत का, उसे हम ज्योत कहते हैं, और उससे जो मिलता है उसे हम प्रकाश कहते हैं. तो क्या इस उदाहरण से हम समझ पाएंगे कि प्रकाश यानी शिव, लाइट, और शक्ति यानी ज्योत, स्फूर्ति, विमर्श, फीलिंग और अपीयरेंस. मैंने बहुत ही क्रूड तरीके से, बहुत ही सीधे तरीके से ये समझाने की कोशिश की है. दो महत्वपूर्ण विषय है बिंदु और नाद. Bindu and Nad are two important philosophical concepts in Shakta Tantra. So now we have to understand this metaphysics of Shaktagam in these 3 levels. One is Shiva and Shakti, second is Bindu, and third is Nada. And all these 3 are interrelated. How? So Bindu and Nada. Bindu means male element, white drop, and Nada means female element, red drop. So Bindu is male element, white, and Nada is female element, red drop. बिंदु हमेशा पुरुष तत्व को सूचित करता है, जो सफेद बिंदु से या प्रकाश जिसे कहते हैं उससे दर्शाया जाता है. और नाद जो अनाहत नाद है, जो इस विश्व की सर्जन की शक्ति है, प्रेरणा है, ऊर्जा स्रोत है, वो जो नाद है वो स्त्री तत्व से दर्शाया जाता है, और उसका चिन्ह और लाल कलर की बिंदु है, रेड ड्रॉप है. So in this Kamakala, there are white drop, red drop. They come together. Bindu and Nad come together. Then we have a compound Bindu. What is that? So actually there are 4 powers. 4 शक्तियां होती है जिससे ये पूरे विश्व का सर्जन होता है. ओरिजिनल बिंदु, which from which world is made of. Then Nada, then Purusha Tattva and Shakti Tattva, that is white male drop and red female drop. So what is this? Who is Shakti? Shakti is a creative agent. We know in Sankhya philosophy that universe is created by that original tattva or Purusha tattva, which is neuter, which is inactive. Prakriti makes Purush active, and that's why the universe is created. So in Shaktagam, Shakti is a creative power, creative agent, which is designated by the alphabet Ho, H, Ho. So Shakti is a goddess and she is the highest deity. She has various names like Parashakti, Lalita, Lalita Sundari. In Navratra we perform that Lalita Panchami Vrata, Bhattarika and Tripura Sundari. So all Para, Lalita, Bhattarika, Tripura Sundari, all are different connotations for the original Shakti. And who is Shiva? Shiva is designated by alphabet O. When Shiva and Shakti come together, O and Ho come together. So it becomes Aho, Aham, ego, individuality. In English, we call it as a capital I. So capital I is very important. Aham is very important. अहम यानी स्वार्थ और ईगो नहीं है जो हम जनरल समझते हैं. ये जो अहम है, ये जो ईगो है, ये जो कैपिटल आई है, वो बहुत मायना रखता है इस फिलोसफी में. इट इंडिकेट्स द इंडिविजुअलिटी. हर जीव के निर्माण के लिए, सर्जन के लिए ये शिव शक्ति का एकत्रित आना और ये इंडिविजुअलिटी निर्माण होना, ये अहम निर्माण होना जरूरी है. If you know the Sankhya philosophy well, you will understand how the universe is created through these 24 principles. We don't go into Sankhya. Now, how this Shakti worship is performed through these philosophical connotations. इसका अर्चन कैसे, इसकी साधना कैसे की जाती है. सो जो कौलिक है वो ग्रॉस मटेरियल ऑब्जेक्ट है. जो मूलभूत तत्व जो है उसकी पूजा अर्चा का समय है. जो पूर्व रंग है या पूर्व अर्चिक है वो पिक्चर्स की वर्शिप करते हैं, यानी इमेजेस की वर्शिप करते हैं. जैसे दुर्गा हो, काली हो, उसकी इमेज बनाना, उसका शिल्प बनाना, उसकी वर्शिप करते हैं. उत्तरार्चिक जो है वो एक्चुअल लिविंग वर्शिप करते हैं, यानी दे एक्चुअल वर्शिप द ऑर्गन ऑफ अ लिविंग ब्यूटीफुल वुमन. So just like as the universe is created by that primordial couple Shiva and Shakti, and that is symbolized or that is indicated by an ordinary sadhaka couple and the very beautiful woman who is a symbol of goddess, and her organ is worshipped. So that is also an important aspect of this Tantra worship, which is there in Vamachar. We will see Vamachar यानी leftist wing. We will see what is Vamachar and Dakshinachar later. But in Vamachar, there are Panchamakaras. There is again Samayin, Samayakar. So Samayin means recourse to imagery, abstain from Panchamakar. So Samayakar or Samayins are the part of Purvarchik. We call it as also Dakshinachar. So there are two ways for worship to goddess. One is Vamachar, where Panchamakars are included, and they worship the organ of a living beautiful woman and the actual intercourse between male and female, and all those Panchamakas are there. They are part and parcel of their worship. And the second is Dakshinachar, Samayachar. They are abstain from these Panchamakaras and they worship the pictures or the shilpas or the idols of the goddesses. In this entire गॉडेसेस पैंथियन और ये जो देवियों का महासंघ है उसमें 10 महाविद्या होती है. देर आर 10 important goddesses, 10 important deities. The first one is Kali. We know Kali Puja. Kali is a form of darkness, but it is not actual darkness, it is the eternal night. This is the eternal night of destruction and time. जब हम सर्जन की बात करते हैं तो सर्जन के बाद उसका विसर्जन भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है, क्योंकि विसर्जन के बिना पुनर्सर्जन नहीं होता. When we talk about the creation of the universe, we know this cyclic development, that there is a creation, then that universe sustains for thousands of years, and then that universe is destructed, and then again there is a new creation. So this is cyclic thing, युगानुयुगे चल ही आ रहा है. ये जो डिस्ट्रक्शन है, ये जो संवार है, उस संवार का जो सिंबल है, चिन्ह है, वो है काली. Kali Mata is a very important deity, and she is destroyer of this kala, that is time, and she is needed because unless there is a destruction, there is no new creation. And in modern or in material life, Kali is also important because she is the destroyer of all evil things. अगर सत्य की विजय होनी है तो असत का नाश होना चाहिए, सुख पाना है तो दुख का निवारण होना चाहिए. तो इन सब के लिए काली एक महत्वपूर्ण देवता है और काली पूजा बहुत ही लोकप्रिय विशेषता काली पूजा होती है. और काली के भी अलग रूप होते हैं, काली, महाकाली, एक्सेट्रा. नेक्स्ट डिटी इज तारा. तारा हम बौद्ध वाग्मय में भी पाते हैं. बौद्ध वाग्मय में, पर्टिकुलरली बौद्ध तंत्र में, तारा एक सर्वोच्च डिटी है. आज हम बौद्ध वाग्मय और बौद्ध धर्म की चिकित्सा नहीं करेंगे, बौद्ध तंत्र की चिकित्सा नहीं करेंगे. हम हिंदुइज्म में, शाक्त तंत्र में तारा का क्या रोल है वो देखते हैं. एक्चुअली तारा, जब हम ऐतिहासिक अवलोकन करते हैं तो हमें दिखाई देता है कि तारा नाम की एक कंसेप्ट है जो हर ट्रबल को दूर करती है, हर परेशानी को दूर करती है. तारा इज अ ट्रबल शूटर. द वर्ड तारा इज डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम द रूट त्रा. त्रायते, वन हु प्रोटेक्ट्स. सो तारा इज अ डीटी हु गाइड्स, हु प्रोटेक्ट्स अस फ्रॉम these troubles. So she guides through troubles. And Tara is also a deity right from the beginning of the proto-history, like from Indus Valley types. Tara is a deity who protects the fishermen or who protects the seamen. So those who are engaged in this maritime activities, their deity is Tara. Of course, it is another thing, it is another part of cultural study. We don't go into detail of that now. We are focusing on philosophical concept of Tara. So Tara is one of the Dashamavidya who guides through troubles. The third is Tripura Sundari, which I have already mentioned. Next is Bhuvaneshwari. If you look into this word Bhuvaneshwari, the very word says that Bhuvana means not only just house or home. Bhuvana means the world. So Bhuvaneshwari means one who is the the ultimate goddess or lord in this world. So whose body is the world is called Bhuvaneshwari. So Bhuvaneshwari is also a very important concept. Next is Chinnamasta. So Masta means Mastak, head. Chinna means cut off. The deity whose head is cut off. So this is a very important tantric deity that is called the self-decapitated goddess. And there are many stories. We don't go into stories, and even we don't go in Nagamic worship of Chinnamasta, and from Chinnamasta how the different cult of goddesses arise. Uh, but it is a very important tantric deity. The next one is Bhairavi. Bhairavi, the word itself suggests that fierce one. Bhairavi is also a consort of Bhairava. Again, Bhairava is a different tantra, and it's a part of Shaiva Tantra, Shaivism. We don't go into Shaivism, but Bhairavi as an independent deity also is important as a Dashamavidya. Then Dhumavati. Dhuma means the smoke. So it is a goddess of whose form is like a smoke. Then Baglamukhi, the paralyzer. Bagala, that is a swan or a Bagla is an important concept. In all these agamas also there are the monkhood or nunhood, and in all those tests there are gradations according to your sadhana. So that is also one part. Next one is Matangi. Again, Matangi is a very important deity. We know the Renuka Mata in a Nagamic tradition. Matanga is a tribe or outcast tribe. So Matangi is a deity for the outcast goddess. Kamala is a lotus goddess. Kamala is not Lakshmi here. Lakshmi Tantra is different. Kamala is a lotus goddess in Dasha Mahavidya. So these different pictures of all these Dasha Mahavidya. Now we come to the actual worshippers. The Shakta worshippers are again divided into two streams. One is Sri Kula, Sri Vidya Deva Upasaka. Sri Vidya is an important concept, that is a Sri, goddess Sri. And there is a family of Sri, that is a Sri Kula. Basically, they are also in Kashmir, and from Kashmir to South India and in western part of India. So Sri Vidya is a important sect or important stream of Shakta worshippers. श्री विद्या उपासना होती है जो कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तक चलती है. पर्टिकुलरली साउथ इंडिया में श्री विद्या के उपासक ज़्यादा है. जो एंटायर साउथ इंडिया है उसमें श्री विद्या का एक अलग तरीके से पूजा अर्चा और मंदिर निर्माण और ये सब चलता है. दूसरा स्कूल है काली कुल, फैमिली ऑफ काली, which is common in northern and eastern India. Kali is very famous in mountainous regions, Himalayan mountains, particularly Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, then upper part of Kashmir. So Kali Mata, Chandika, Chamunda, all those fearful deities, they are worshipped. And in eastern India, we have famous example of Bengal and Assam. In Bengal, Kali Puja is very important, and Assam, Kamarup, northeast. So these are two important schools, Sri Vidya and Kali Kul. Sri, worshipper of goddess Sri, and worshipper of Kali. So these are basic introduction to worshipper. I will give more 10 minutes for this particular Sri Vidya and Kali Vidya. In Kashmir, we have a Sri Vidya Upasakas, and we have Kaula Upasakas also who follow the Kulachar. They are called Kaulas, and they are well versed in this Tantra worship in Shakta Agamas, Kulachar, and they are performer of these rituals or practices of Shakta Agamas. So they are called Kulachar. Again, in Sri Vidya, we have different types of takes, for example, we have Lalita Sahasranam, then Tripura Sundari, that Sundarya Mahatmya, Sundarya Mimamsa by Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya himself was a great devotee of Sri Vidya. So we have a different festivals or practices also. For example, in Navratri, we have Lalita Panchami Vrata, we have Mahaashtami Vrata, and we have Mahanavami Vratas. So these three vratas are performed by the followers of the Nagamic worshipper also and Agamic worshipper also. And in Agamic, Vamachar is also, that is in a Tantra also, that is whether it is Mahanirvana Tantra, Bhairav Tantra, or Yamala Tantras, and all those Vamachars, Panchamakars, and all, as well as Samayachars also, that is, as well as Dakshinachar also. So these are certain festivals or vratas which are worshipped, which are performed for this worship of goddesses. Now the point is there whether this is the origin, and in due course of our history they are developed. There are many goddesses, then there are temples, and all these temple rituals are performed according to their tantra or according to their agamas. So this is a great interesting study, and all those philosophical connotations, philosophical concepts, whether it is Bindu or Nath, Shiva or Shakti, the various Bija mantras, and Purashcharan of Bija mantras, and in Vamachar there are five makaras, that is Madhya, Masa, Meena, this Maithuna, and Mudra. These are five Panchamakaras. So they are non-vegetarians. They eat meat and fish, and they drink wine, that is intoxicated liquor. They have certain hand gestures. They are called as mudra, and they are engrossed in the intercourse of male and female, and it is a free intercourse. So all these things are there. We may think all these panchamakaras are all this worldly material level, but everything has its own symbolic meaning and philosophical meaning. And this is a union of Shiva and Shakti, and through these kind of practices, they achieve the moksha. So that is also one aspect of Vamachar, which are generally followed in Kalikul, that is um, leftist Vamachar people, and Shrikul is a Samayachar, Dakshinachar. So all these types of worships are there, and even today the worshippers follow these practices. They follow their own philosophical treatises, and they follow their own endeavors, that is their own sadhana. And when a seeker, a sadhak, crosses over one step ahead, he reaches to the ultimate level, and that is the unity with the ultimate reality, that is the goddess, whether it is Shri or whether it is Kali. There is no actual difference between Shri or Kali or Durga or whoever it is. You just name it. It is just a Shakti, and Shakti is they are designated by various names, and according to that particular name, she has some own functions. She has some peculiar role to play, and all these things, legends and stories and myths, are documented in literature, whether it is Nagamic literature or Agamic literature. So this is a general outline of the origin and development of the Shakti worship. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prachi madam. It was very wonderful to hear you. We'll stop here for today.
Thank you, sir.